The title of this incident is Babby and the Night Skunk. I'm Jack Lynch. This incident happened back in 1967 at Beech Mountain Boy Scout Camp. I didn't have a camp name. I was just Jack Lynch. The other person involved was my dear friend Eddie Grant. He was another Boy Scout. We decided, since we pulled a lot of good pranks together and had lots of good times, that we would share a tent. We had a lot of fun first few days. Our troop leader, William Babcock, who was known as Babby, didn't seem to like us having that fun. He decided that separating us would solve his problems. So, about the fourth night, near the end, Babby said, "Eddie, you're going to sleep in my tent. Jack, I'm going to sleep in your tent with you. Keep an eye on you." Oh yeah, by the way, Babby worked for DuPont. So did my father. My father was a chemist, and he was also a manager. He was Babby's manager. Babby was scared to death that he might do something to me, or something happen to me, and he would really catch the blame at work. I didn't know it at the time. I do now. In any case, Eddie hung his head and went over to Babby's tent, threw out his sleeping bag, and climbed in, went to sleep. I went to my tent, climbed in, and went to sleep. Babby stayed up. By the way, Boy Scout Camp week for us at Boy Scout Camp was a week where Babby ran around in his shorts, his underwear shorts, and his t-shirt all week. He stayed up in camp and did nothing. In any case, I'm in bed. I'm fast asleep. It'd been a long day. Babby came in somewhere around 2 in the morning, from what I've been told. Got his bag, threw it out, climbed in. No sooner did he get into the tent and into his sleeping bag than a skunk climbs up, gets up on his bunk where his feet are, and looks at him. Babby got out very carefully, very slowly, ran for his life, went back to his tent, got on the cot. Oh yeah, before he went to sleep, he put on some pants and a shirt and a coat. He left the sleeping bag in my tent. The skunk, he was nowhere to be found come the next morning. All that was left was the smell on Babby's sleeping bag. The name of this incident is Babby's Fire. I'm Jack Lynch, and at the time I did not have a camp name. I was in 7th grade. I was a Boy Scout. This occurred up at Beech Mountain Boy Scout Camp, and that was in summer of 1967. Our scout troop was Troop 17. It was hosted by the New Windsor Volunteer Fire Department. Our meetings were all in the fire department usually. We all went to camp, Beech Mountain Scout Camp. Our troop leader was William Babcock, a volunteer firefighter with 10-15 years experience at least. William Babcock got a nickname. I guess you could call it a camp name. Bob Acero, one of the scouts, nicknamed him Babby. We wouldn't call him Mr. Babcock, we called him Babby. And he seemed to like that just fine. Well, as it had been a tradition with this Boy Scout troop over the past about 20 years, every week that this troop had gone to Beech Mountain Scout Camp, it had rained most of the week, every single time. And this particular time was no different. After about 3 days of living up in our little encampment off to the side of the Boy Scout camp, Babby got tired of the rain, and he was going to show us how to build a fire in the rain. We gathered the wood. These were logs that were 6, 8, 10 inches in diameter, and they'd been cut by saw to about 2 feet, 2.5 feet long. Babby had them piled in this campfire area. It had a little rock perimeter around it. Over top of it, he strung a line at about 10 feet in elevation from one tree to the next and hung a clear plastic tarp, tied the edges to the trees nearby. That was to keep the fire dry while it was burning. He got the matches and he said, this is how you get it going when it's raining. He took a can of gasoline and poured about, half, maybe 3/4 of a gallon, doused it all over the pile of wood, which is about 2 feet high and about 4 feet in diameter. He said, you let it soak in and then you stand back and throw a match. We stood way back. He stood up close. He stepped back, lit the match, and threw it. Before the match hit the ground, it hit the gasoline fumes, and there was a very big ka-whoosh. The flame shot up there about 20 feet. The tarp, of course, instantly melted, and the four corners that were tied up to the trees nearby, all that was left was a little bit of plastic hanging from those rope that was kind of on fire, and you could hear the driplets of molten plastic that were on fire. Beep, beep, beep. And the nice nylon rope that he had strung across above the campfire, yeah, that was all gone too. That was our Babby.